Hey there, YouTubers. Kitten Hoarder here, and you're watching Session Report, the show that takes you to the gamer's table to share in the surprises that come out during play. And we are playing Anachrony, the time-traveling, anomaly-creating, paradox-reaping worker placement game from Mindclash Games. If you haven't watched it, and you want to know more about Anachrony, take a look at my sort of gameplay overview video, rules overview, that I should go up right before this one, so it should just be the most recent one that I have. I'm not going to be explaining the rules here because I already did it, but before we get into the play, I want to talk a little bit about the path that I'm going to be playing as. So, just as I did in my Mansions of Madness video, I put this one to a vote, and for a while, the Path of Harmony, both of the leaders were in the lead for which team I should play. But last time I checked it, just the night before starting to record this video, Librarian Cornella from the Path of Progress was tied with Shepherd Karaticus from the Path of Salvation. So I figured the only fair thing to do is to record them both, starting with Librarian Cornella. So that's what I'm going to be playing today. We're playing with the B side of the board, which is the asymmetrical side of the board. And let me see if I can identify all of the asymmetrical, unusual aspects of this board. One is that the Path of Progress can take 4 paradoxes before it gets an anomaly, rather than 3. Another is that when I use a scientist to use a building ability on any of the power plants, factories, or labs, that scientist remains motivated instead of becoming exhausted. Sort of on the flip side of that, when I motivate my workers by spending water, that worker does not remain motivated. Usually on most boards, if it's an administrator, they remain motivated. And then also, I can use any resource other than neutronium rather than an energy core to power up my exosuits. I think that's all of them. I think there might be some differences in the costs on some of these buildings, but other than that, those are the main differences. Oh, I think also the time travel payout is a little lower for this path, at least for the first few steps. Once I get past 8, I should be fine. So that is my asymmetrical board. I've already got my starting resources, and let's look at my path, my leader power. So the leader power, this is a really cool one. If I take the research action and spend 1 water, I can put both dice on whatever face I want. Normally I would choose 1 and put it on whatever face I want, then roll the other one. I could put both dice on any face I want, which is going to come really in handy with my evacuation condition. My evacuation condition is that I have to have 8 water to evacuate. That's fine. But then I get 4 points for every super project I've built. That is huge. Super projects are already worth a lot of points, and they give you very cool special abilities. So my goal here is I'm going to try and build at least 3 super projects. I don't think I'm going to be able to build 4. It's impossible to build more than 4 because of the space that you have on the board. But I'm going to try and build 3. And being able to essentially choose the breakthroughs that I want is going to be a huge part of that. And just talking about a little strategy before I start the game, I also am going to try and build some factories near the beginning. I think I might fill up the factory row and build 1 of everything else. Because I want to get some production going for resources. Because I can use those resources to power my exosuits. That is generally cheaper than using energy cores. As you can see, the exchange rate for energy cores is 2 energy cores for 1, or 2 resources for 1 energy core, and plus it's an intermediary thing. So there are other things that can produce energy cores by themselves, but it's usually a lot more efficient to get a factory that just produces resources. And since I can spend a resource instead, I'm going to be doing that. So that's my overall strategy for the game. I've got my focus in the first era, and we're just going to start on the first round. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is the preparation. Refill the mine and recruit pools, reveal a new super project, and shift to the building stacks. I already refilled the mine and recruit pools during the explanation video, so now I'm going to reveal the next era's super project, which is synthetic endorphins. That's a good one. It makes it so you don't lose points or workers for motivating by forcing people to work, which I might be doing since I'm trying to save water. And then let's shift our building stacks. 1, 1, 1, 1. Okay, so far it's a little disappointing. I'm not seeing a really good resource generation thing going on here. What is this? What does this lab do? 407. That seems like a cool one. Return one of your warp tiles from a timeline tile to your supply without scoring VPs. That could be useful. I really want that resource generation, but these factories are not great. But we'll see. I think the Chronobot is going to take this top one, and maybe they'll reveal something a little better. So, that was the preparation phase. Paradox is skipped for the first round. Power up. Alright, let's power up my free ones. Might as well, right? And then we have to decide how many additional ones to power up. I've got 4 workers here. But I think I'm going to take a worker during the round. So I'm going to power up 2 more exosuits. And I'm going to spend 2 energy cores for that. Which means I have 1 slot left. That means I get to take a water. Okay. Chronobot always powers up all its exosuits. Now we're going to warp. Okay, Chronobot's going first. Now I see I get 2 times benefit for something here. If I land on that space. So I'm thinking I want to warp in 2 things this round. Because that way I'm essentially guaranteed to get this unless Chronobot doesn't warp anything. In which case, that sucks. Okay, so what do I want to warp in? I'm thinking some resources. I know there's no purple, no neutronium available this round, and just in case I want to build temporal tourism, I think I'm going to warp in a neutronium. And then, if I want to build a factory, I need gold and titanium. I have that. But let's get a titanium warped in. Okay. And then we will roll for what the Chronobot warps in, because he's going first. He's the first player. Oh my god. Okay. Well, that's fine. He didn't warp in anything. I'm warping in these 2 things, which means I will shift my morale forward and shift it back. This is the unstable timeline variant, where when you place a warp tile, you get a certain benefit, or, in this case, bad thing. So that had a net neutral effect, but I did get 2 resources for that, and I can work on paying those back later. Okie dokie. And then it is time to start the action rounds. Alright, for the action rounds, Chronobot's always going to go first, because he's first player. We roll the die, and he got a 5, which means he gets 2 water. Very nice. There you go, Chronobot. It is now my turn. Let's see. I'm going to take a recruit action with one of my administrators, and I'm going to get a genius. There's one available, might as well claim one. So, go and take my recruit action, going to take a genius, and we're going to claim as my reward another energy core. since I don't have my engine going yet. Now, Chronobot's turn. They rolled a 6, so he gets 2 more waters. My action, see, I don't want to build those factories. I want to wait for Chronobot to build something. Let's see here. Well, I should research. I'm going to go do that. And I'm going to... You know, I do want to build this... Hold on a second. I think I do want to build this water building, this life support building. That gives me 5 water. My goal is to have 8 water. That's a really good building to have, and it's worth 2 points as well. So I might do that. Do I have enough to build it? Yeah, I would need 1 titanium and 1 uranium if I use a genius to do it, and I am going to use a genius to do it. So there we go. Going to get a discount of 1 uranium, or 1 titanium. So we're going to spend 1 uranium, 1 titanium, and we're going to build a life support building like so. That will give me 5 waters every time I use it. Chronobot's turn. Whoops. Okay, he rolled... Well, let me re-roll that. Rolled a 4. He is going to now build a life support building. So, good timing on that. And he's going to build the one that gives the most points. If there's a tie, he's going to build the one on the right stack. So he's going to just do that. Okay. It is not working out as I had hoped with the factories. That time travel one wouldn't be bad. I mean, I do need a power plant. Or I could build temporal tourism. I need breakthrough first. So I'm going to go take the breakthrough action. I'm going to set this to triangle, and I'm going to use my leader ability to spend 1 water. Whoops. And set the other one to the time symbol. And just claim the tile I want, which is this one here. Now, can I build that? I think if I used an engineer, I'd be able to build it. Okay, that was my action. Chronobot's turn. He rolled a 6. He gets 1 point, because it is before the impact. Let's see here. I can't get another engineer. I could take a mine action to get more resources. I think I will, because I want to build this super project anyway. I know I want it. Yeah. So I'm going to, let's see. The thing is, administrators can't construct. Okay, so I'm going to have to send an administrator over here to the mines. I'm going to take 1 titanium, and let's take a gold, because I know I will need gold in later rounds. Okay, Chronobot's turn. They rolled a 1, so they're going to construct a power plant up here. Take the most expensive, or the most VP one. Now I can construct my super project. So I'm going to have to take this action. It costs me 1 water, then costs me 3 additional water. 1, 2, 3. Cost me 1 neutronium and 3 titanium. And it's going to cost me this tile that I just got. Very expensive, but that's worth 6 points. And if I fulfill my evacuation condition, It's going to get me 10 points. And I'm going to put it here because I don't think I'm going to need any more life supports. So I've got temporal tourism now. Also, that is really cool. I just basically built myself a pretty powerful power plant. So I don't really need to build power plants now. Okay. Now the problem is I'm out of workers. I guess I could have used this action to motivate that guy. And then I could have gotten water this turn. That would have been a better move. Yeah, I'm not going to rewind it and do it. But what I should have done was motivated this guy, used him. I would have gotten a discount on that build, and then I could have gotten the water as well. Oh well. Let's see here. So that was it for me. Chronobot still can go until I pass, and I can't pass until it's my turn again. Chronobot rolled a 1. He is going to attempt to time travel. He can't time travel, so he gets 2 water and 1 point. And we're going to change out 5 of these waters for the dark blue, which is worth 5 waters. Now it's my turn. I can't do anything else. I'm going to pass. Okay, so now it is time for cleanup. Retrieve workers. Gonna retrieve that guy. Gonna retrieve that one. And these are all going to be exhausted. Gonna retrieve the scientist. Gonna retrieve this scientist and this administrator. And then Chronobot is going to take his guys back. He didn't really put anybody on the board this round. Check for impact didn't happen. Check for the game end didn't happen. We're going to move to the next era. Okay, so that was a round of Anachrony. You can see it plays pretty quickly, actually. We're going to set up the next round. Refill the mine. So these things can shift down. We get a purple up here. Everything else is the same. We will refill this space over here. We're going to refill the recruit pool. This time there is an engineer available. I'm going to want those engineers. So I'm going to want to be working on recruiting them. Reveal a new super project. The anti-gravity field. Oh, that's a cool thing. When you take the build action, you spend 1 fewer resource of any color. I'm going to want that. So I'm going to want to work on getting that for next round. And then we're going to shift our building stacks over. Got a power plant here. See, there's a fairly good resource generation factory. I think that there should be ones that generate a lot more resources, but I'm not seeing them. There's one over here and one over there. Oh, that's pretty cool. Administrator and 2 water gets you a genius. That might be worth getting. Yeah, that might be worth going after. Okay, players with the most paradox, that's me. I have the most warp tiles on the only one so far, so we're going to roll, and I get 1 paradox. I put those over here. So I have 1 paradox. As soon as I get 4 of them, I'm going to have to take an anomaly, which I will have to resolve later. Now it's time to power up and receive water income. I'm going to power up my 3 for free for sure. And then I have a lot of workers. I know I want to save an administrator for this, but I do know I want to recruit another engineer this turn. So I'm going to be having 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 workers. I might as well go all out because I need the resources anyway. I'm going to spend all of my energy cores and power up all my exosuits this round. Okay. Chronobot powers up all of his exosuits. Warp. I think I'm going to avoid warping because I do not want to land on this spot. And if Chronobots does 0 or 1, I have a chance of landing on this spot and getting an extra paradox tile. So I'm not going to warp in anything this round. Let's hope Chronobot does, and then he'll be stuck with some paradoxes. Oh yeah. Oh, bad news for Chronobot. He warped in 2 things this round, which means he immediately gets a paradox. By the way, there's not really official rules for using Chronobot with the these tiles. I like it because it makes there be a little bit more strategy in terms of what you warp in. But I'm essentially making up these rules on my own. So the fact that Chronobot gets the bonuses or negatives of whatever it lands on is completely my rule. There might come out with official rule later that negates that, but for now that is how I am playing. Very nice. Very nice. All right. So that was it for warping. Now it's time for the action rounds. Okay, Chronobot's still in first place. Let's roll for his action. That was a 3. He's going to go visit the mines. When Chronobot visits the mines, he tries to fill up the first spaces first. There is a purple there, so he's just going to take this top row and take a purple and a blue. And then he fills up purple, blue. Okay, I know I want to go to the mines this round, but I also want to recruit that engineer. And I think it's very important that I recruit the engineer. So first thing I'm going to do actually is free action, shift my morale to the left, and wake up all my workers by essentially forcing them to work. So that was a free action. I still get a normal action. I'm going to take this guy, this administrator, and I'm going to recruit me an engineer. Well, actually, it doesn't need to be an administrator, but I do want to save my engineer anyway. So I'm going to recruit an engineer. And when I do that, of course, I get an energy core for free. Chronobot's turn. Rolled a 5. He's going to try and build life support systems again. So, again, they're the same amount of point values, so he's going to take the 1 on the right stack. That's fine. I don't care about life support anymore. I can't build anymore. Okay, my next action, I need to go visit the mines. I want to build a laboratory. Because I want to build, or not a laboratory, a factory. I want to build this one, I think. So I need 2 titanium and a gold, or fewer than that, depending. Let's see. I also want to take this action and get water, but I can save that for the end of the round. I just need to remember I need to save this guy. So I'm going to, I think, send my scientist, and that way I can do more building actions with my engineers. I'm going to send my scientist, and we're going to take 2 titaniums, because I've already got 2 golds. Yep, that'll work. Chronobot goes. Rolled a 1 again. Jeez. Okay, so it's going to try and resolve an anomaly. He has no anomalies, so he takes 2 water and 1 victory point. All right, my turn. I think I can build my thing now. Oh, I have no water. So I do need to take this water action. I'm gonna take that 5 water. By the way, keep an eye out for me. I tend to forget my free water for unused unused exosuit slots at the beginning of every round. Keep an eye out for me. If I forget about that, bang me on the head or something. All right, let's see. Rolled a 2. This is what I was worried about. He's going to construct a lab. He's going to construct this one here. That's the lab symbol. Yeah. Okay. That's no good. No good, dirty, rotten scoundrel. Okay, I'm going to build my power plant, or not my power plant, my factory, spending 2 water, so I can get 3 back. And the good thing is this makes me first player next round. And that's going to be a big advantage. I can get 2 points out of that. So I'm going to use a engineer, and that way I get a discount of 1 titanium. So I'm only spending 1 titanium and 1 gold. And I'm going to build this laboratory. Oh, see, this is one I was looking for. This next one. You get 3 resources of any color. Or 1 neutronium. It does cost a lot more water, though. Okay, very nice. Chronobot goes. Rolled a 1. So he's going to try and build a power plant. So no more building for me this round. And he's going to build this power plant here. A very, very high victory point 1. Okay. That sort of limits my options. I'm actually thinking I might want to do another recruit action. I also should prepare my stuff for my anti-gravity field. But I'm thinking I might want to do another recruit action. Let's see, I have 3 more. The thing is, I have 3 more exosuits. And that means I can't use this factory I just built unless I recruit somebody. And of course, it's worth recruiting somebody anyway. I know I'm going to need administrators for that water. Okay. I think I'm going to do that. And I'm going to send... I'm sort of done with engineers now. So I'm going to send my engineer. It's going to cost me 1 water. But I can recruit a scientist or an administrator. I think I'm going to go for a scientist. And that's going to give me a reward of 2 water. So I actually got 1 water out of that. Chronobot's turn. Chronobot rolled a 2. It's going to do research. Should have considered that. Well, actually, it was more likely to do recruit, so. Alright, just going to roll the shape die and take 1. Doesn't matter what picture is on it, just 1 of that shape. I do want to do research, so I'm going to send my scientist could do research. I spend 1 water on that, and I'm going to spend another water to ensure that I get the one that I want. And I want the microchip one with the triangle. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to get this microchip one with the triangle. Chronobot's turn. Rolled a 5 and is unable to take that action. So he's going to get 2 water and a victory point. That is 5 water, so I'm going to switch that out for a dark blue one. Okay. I still have a couple of things I can do. I have 1 more worker. I think I should use my scientist here so that that scientist stays motivated. Which means I'm going to use my genius out on the board somewhere. I could go to the mine. I do need more resources. Yeah, I should probably do that. Okay, so my scientist, I'll go to the mine first. Genius is going to go out here. Genius is going to stay motivated and going to take, well, let's take 1 of each. Chronobot goes, rolled a 2. So he would go to the mine. I've blocked that space, gets 2 water, and a victory point. And we have 5 victory points now. We're going to switch that out for a 5 victory point token. And with my last action, I'm going to send my scientist to my factory, and they are going to get some titanium for me. 3 titanium. Actually, that's not my last action, because then as a free action, I'm going to use temporal tourism to go pay off my titanium debt with my warp tile, which shifts me forward on the time travel track. Perfect. Okay. And then Chronobot's going to go before I pass. Chronobot rolled a 1, is going to attempt time travel, cannot do it because can't time travel to the current era. So it's going to get 2 waters and a victory point. Then I'm going to pass. All right, everybody retrieve their workers. So this one stays motivated because she was acting as an engineer. Engineers stay motivated when they go to the mines. This scientist goes to sleep. This scientist remains motivated because if I put a scientist on any of these 3 rows, they stay motivated. This administrator goes to sleep. These guys, none of them are going to stay motivated. This one over here, like that. This one over here, like so. I've got a few workers who are still motivated. And then we have Chronobot just puts all of his guys back. And check for, oh, I need to retrieve my player tokens as well. Put my guy back on the current path, current era. Check for impact, hasn't happened. Check for game end, hasn't happened, and we shift forward. And that is it for this round. Okay, we are back. It's time for the next round. Let's just get things started. So we're going to reveal the new super project. Ooh, that would be a good one for me. You get plus 3 points for every super project you've built. Remember, I'm trying to build at least 3. 4 if I can hack it, but I'm going to try and go for at least 3. So I'm already getting plus 4 points for those. I would be getting an additional 3 points. That's pretty good. Let's see what we got in the mines. All right, another neutronium. We will move this gold over. We got some uranium down here. We got some titanium. We got our, you know, all our precious ore. Nice work. Okay, let's see what's going on in the recruit pool. Ah, lots of engineers this round. Now, engineers are good. Those are ones that I want. So I might go after an engineer. Because they make it easier to build stuff. And that is what I'm going to be doing a lot of this game. Of course, the game is already quite a bit over. It's about half over already. This game goes by pretty quickly. And we're going to shift over these building stacks. Now, there's a 4-point building. That's a good one. Yeah, I'm not too excited about any of these buildings. I might build the power plant just for the points, but I'm going to try and focus on super projects still. Okay. Now paradox. Players with the most warp tiles roll for paradox. So now that the Chronobot has some, he's going to roll for that era. Gosh, darn it, you... Ah, okay, he didn't get any. And I'm going to roll him. My luck, I'm probably going to roll 2. Nope. 1, but that's still not as good. Now, there is a variant. If this part of the game turns you off, it is probably the most random part of the game. If that turns you off, there is an official variant where you can... here, hold on a second. Why, hello there, Dr. Dog. All right, let's move you over. You're blocking my light. All right. There's an official variant where you just get one paradox tile for every era that you have the most warp tiles in, and you don't have to roll. And that's what it evens out to anyway, but there's always the chance you'll get 0 or 2, which is just pure luck. But I'm going to keep playing with the normal rules. It doesn't bother me too much. Okay. And then we have power up. Now here's where it gets a little tricky. I've only got 1 energy core currently. I do have some materials that I can use to power up exosuits. So I'm going to start with powering up my 3 that I definitely know I'm going to use. And let's see here. I have to think about what I'm going to be doing this round. Well, I will definitely use this energy core to power one of them up. I have to think about what I want to do this round. Because if I spend, let's say, 1 titanium to power up an exosuit, I could then send that exosuit to the mines and get 2 titanium back. So it actually is probably worth it to spend, but at the same time, I want to make sure that I am, make sure that I'm not spending resources that I'm going to want to have right away. So I know I want to try and build this anti-gravity field, because that's going to reduce building costs for me. Let's look in the rule book on that one. I think I'm understanding that correctly, but it's always good just to double check. Anti-gravity field. Reduce the total cost of each of your construct actions by an additional titanium, uranium, or gold. Very nice. I want to build that, because I know I'm going to be doing more building this round, or this game. So I need 4 titanium for that. In addition, I think it might be worthwhile to build this lab. So for the lab, I need 1 uranium and 2 titanium and 1 water. So it seems like I'm going to be spending gold. I wonder if this would be worth getting. I mean, it would give me a lot of building resources. The problem is I need to get a lot of water. But again, with 1 exosuit, if I send 1 exosuit to this space, which is unlimited uses, I can get that water. The problem is I'm also using a worker for that. So for that I would need 1 titanium and 1 gold. So I can definitely spend 1 gold to power up an exosuit. And I'm going to spend another gold. Because I'm going to build this anti-gravity field first, and I can actually build that without spending any other resources if I use my bonus from my engineer. So I'm going to power up my exosuits by using the gold. Ah, yeah. Okay. In fact, I might then get synthetic endorphins, which makes it so I don't lose points for morale, because I don't see myself pushing this morale track up very far. I'm using water on other things. Okay, that was that. So I don't get any free water because I've got all my exosuits powered up. Now it's time for warp. Now here's the cool part. I am first player because I used this action last round, which means I get to put my tiles out first. And if you look at it, the first 2 warp spaces get you 1 point. So I am definitely going to warp in 2 things. 2 things. I'm going to warp in some resources because might as well. And those are going to also be easier for me to pay back later because I'm working on an engine going to start generating those resources. Oh, that reminds me. This round, I want to pay back this. So I need to grab that neutronium. So I'm going to warp in these 2. Let's see what Chronobot warps in. None again. Wow, Chronobot is being very, what is the word? Very cautious this game. All right, I'm going to warp in a gold and a titanium, and I'm going to take 2 victory points for that. Thank you very much. Very nice. Okie dokie. Warp is finished. Time for action rounds. And again, I go first. Okay, so looking at Chronobot, I can see that 3 of the possible actions it's going to take are going to be construction. So I'm going to go for that construction space first. It also has a chance of recruiting. So I do want to recruit these engineers, or possibly geniuses. But we're going to start with the construct action. So I'm going to take my genius, which counts as an engineer. I'm going to put this guy here, and I'm going to construct the super project for this era. That's going to cost me 3 titanium, because I get a discount. 1 engineer, basically he died in the construction of this project. And my little microchip breakthrough tile. So we're going to spend all those resources. Bye-bye, Mr. Engineer. And we're going to put out my anti-gravity field. And let's put it up here on the top row because I don't think I need any power plants currently. That is sort of the problem with building the super projects first. Now the super projects, the cost is printed here. Everything else, the cost is printed on the board. So by building this anti-gravity field before I build a power plant, if I build a power plant later, it's going to be more expensive than if I built it here. But I think it's fine. And excellent, from now on, every time I take a construct action, I get to pay 1 fewer resource other than neutronium. Very nice. That was my whole action. So, Jackson, it's time. All right, rolled a 3. He is indeed going to construct. He's going to try to construct one of these life support buildings, so it's just going to do that. Now he has built 3, so I'm going to flip these tiles over, and that's how I personally keep track of the fact that he's built his maximum number. It's not in the rules, it's just something I came up with to help me keep track. Okay, I am going to wake up my workers, and I'm going to force them to work. So, sorry, morale, you're going to drop again. But hooray, everybody gets to get back to work. Okay. And we're going to send somebody to the recruit action. And let's recruit another genius, just to have one. So we're recruiting a genius, and I'm going to take, again, the energy core as my reward, because those are useful to have. It is Chronobot's turn. Rolled a 3 again, so he's going to take a recruit action now. First one for the Chronobot of the game. So he's going to try to fill in these 4 spaces in order. There's no geniuses left, so he's going to take an administrator. And he does not get the bonus for that. Okay. Wow. Already these 2 actions are completely filled. That is crazy. I think I'm going to go to the mines now. Let's see. Well, actually, do I have what it takes to build that lab building? I do. I just need the water for it. So I'm going to grab my 5 water now, I think. Yeah, because to build that lab building, if I wanted it, which would give me free geniuses, which is nice. Well, mostly free geniuses. Or was I going to build the factory? I don't even remember what I was building. Either one, I have what it takes to build it. I need water, though. So I'm going to take this, spend this administrator, and get 5 water. Chronobot's turn. Rolled a 4. That is another recruit action. It's going to take this first space over here, which means I am no longer first player. Chronobot gets the first player marker. And he's going to take the only one that's left, which is an engineer. Oh, And currently, there are 3 numbers on the same space. So let me check the rules on that. I think it is the highest one moves on. It doesn't matter really if you do it consistently, but advance the highest one to the next position. So I believe there was a 5 in there. The 5 now gets advanced. Okay, and that's just to keep it from taking the same action over and over and over again. Okay, what were we doing here? I have the water now. There's only 1 construct space left. I'm going to take my construct action before it's too late. And I have to decide what I'm going to construct. That's the tricky thing. Yeah, see, here's the thing. If I construct another factory, I am guaranteeing I can't build 4 super projects. I would be able to build a maximum of 3. And I know I'm going to get plus 3 points, and then for my evacuation condition, plus 4 points. So 7 points, in addition to the points granted by the super project itself. I think that is too good to pass up. I don't think I can afford to build another factory. I'm going to go for this lab. Now, is this really the one I want? It's only worth 1 point. It gives me free geniuses, though. I mean, I say free. It gives me geniuses if I use administrators and spend water. But then I wouldn't have to worry for the next possibly 4 rounds, but it's probably going to be more like 2 or 3 rounds. I wouldn't have to worry about using recruit actions anymore. So that's something to consider. I mean, the other option is this one that's worth 4 points, but then that one doesn't really benefit me. I don't get a lot out of that. It just makes my time travel actions more powerful. So I'm going to go for this one. We're going to do this construct action. Oh, I already put my engineer in here. So it cost me 1 water just to use the space. Plus, it's going to cost me 1 water. Whoop, 5. Get 4 back. Plus, it's going to cost me 1 water to do the construction. And 1 uranium and 1 titanium because of my discount. But because I get a discount for my anti-gravity field, I can spend 1 fewer resource. Now, titanium is the most plentiful one. So I'm just going to spend the 1 titanium, and that's it. So that was a really useful action. All right, so we're going to take this building and put it here. Now, I do have a genius, so I could still use this. I think I can use a genius in that space. Yeah, that makes sense. A genius can be used in place of anybody else for an action. So, yeah, I could still use this round. That's good. All right, Chronobot's turn. Rolled a 3. He's going to try to construct. He cannot because that space is filled. So he's going to take, guess what, 2 water. So we'll just make a change here. And a victory point. Fun. This is why when you get your engine going and you start taking a lot of turns, it actually can be detrimental because the Chronobot gets a lot of actions. Okay, so I think the next course of action is to start working on getting this ultimate plan. Oh, no. Okay, Chronobot's not set up to take any mine actions anytime soon. But he's also not set up to take any research actions anytime soon. But I know I need to visit the mine at some point this round to get neutronium so I can go back in the past and pay back my debt. So I'm going to go ahead and it doesn't really matter what I do, but I'm going to start doing that. I'm going to send a scientist over here, and we're going to take, well, I have no titaniums currently, so I'm going to take a titanium and a neutronium. And then, as a free action, I'm going to use my temporal tourism, go into the past, and pay off my neutronium, give it back to myself, and move myself forward on the time travel track. Okay, Chronobot's turn. 2, he's going to get 2 waters and a point. Okay. I'm going to use my genius as an engineer and make another genius. So here we go, like so. Spend 2 water on that, and I get another genius. Hooray. Okay, Chronobot is going to try and recruit, cannot do it, so he takes 2 waters, so again, making change for 5, and a victory point. I'm going to take spend 1 water, and I'm going to get 3 titaniums. Roll the die. Rolled a 1. Alright, so it's going to try and pay off an anomaly. It cannot do so, so I believe it just takes 2 points, or 2 water, and a victory point. This is happening a lot more this game than normally does. But that is what happens when you have an AI that is based on the roll of a die. Sometimes it will have a very good game. Sometimes it will have a very nasty game. Alright, let's do some research. In this time, I'm not going to spend extra water because I noticed Ultimate Plan just requires triangle of any kind. So I'm just going to take triangle and roll the other die. And in fact, I ended up getting triangle and genetics, which would be useful for synthetic endorphins, which I'm probably going to end up taking. Alright, good. Chronobot goes. Rolled a 1 again. Okay. 2 waters and a point. That is the problem with Chronobot. If these action spaces get blocked, Chronobot ends up doing a lot of actions that just get it 2 waters and a point. Those points add up. If it does that 5 times in a round, that's 5 points. Chronobot officially doesn't pass until the player passes, or Chronobot's used all of its exosuits. But it's not going to use all of its exosuits until it can actually place them. And so that's a problem. But I don't think it's a big problem. I still think this is a really well-designed AI. Okay, where was I? I have one more worker. I think it would probably be worthwhile to get some water, because I know I'm going to be using that for a lot of things, so I'm going to go get some water. And I'm going to get 4 waters because I sent a genius who is acting as though she's a scientist. Chronobot's turn. Rolled a 3. So he's going to try and increase morale. He's going to spend 5 water and bump up his morale track. And then I'm going to pass because I've run out of things to do. Okie dokie. Time to clean up. So, my scientist comes back exhausted from working at the mines. My genius comes back exhausted from constructing things. My engineer comes back exhausted from constructing things. My administrator comes back exhausted. My scientist comes back exhausted. My genius comes back exhausted. And then we have my scientist who's still motivated because I used a scientist in this spot. My genius who's still motivated because she's acting as though she is an administrator and stays motivated because of that action. And the administrator is exhausted. So we're still going to have to make everybody work at the beginning of the next round. I'm going to take back these tokens here. And that's it. And then Chronobot takes back his stuff. Okay. Check for impact. Nope. Check for game end. Nope. Next era. So we see this is the last revealed one. We move forward to that era.